All right, guys, welcome back. Patrick Curley here, your friendly neighborhood investor, back again with the legendary deal negotiator, agent unicorn, and overall transactional ninja, Gary Shevitz.
Is that how a unicorn takes a bath, right? Like that.
You guys are so freaking lucky to have Gary with us.
I don't know
Gary,
about today though. I'm still worn out from that mastermind last
I
week.
was just gonna ask you, how was that?
It was awesome.
Yeah.
Hanging around with so many high level people doing deals like crazy.
You know what I love
And
about masterminds, besides all the cool,
besides the fact that you've never been to one.
well, no, I mean, I haven't been to Paces. I'm really excited to go to that. I can't wait to go to his if he has another one. But I feel like besides all the cool information they give you, the mindset that you get surrounded by, you know, it's just like people who invest in themselves like that, they just have this mindset like they can do anything. And it's an inspiration to be around. So I always come back fired up from events like that.
People pay a ton of money to be at Pace's Mastermind. So
Yeah.
you definitely have a higher level mindset for sure. Yeah. 15
Yeah, and
grand.
if you get one insight, right? Like one insight that's going to shift your business, it's completely worth it. And that's how a lot of those guys think.
It's not an insight. It's not a what, it's a who.
What do you mean by that?
I'm telling you, it's who you meet there that's going to,
Yeah, the
it's just the
connections.
ideas you're going to get, the connections you're going to make, the friends you're going to make,
100%.
that's the most important thing that happens in that environment, I think. Yeah.
100%. Yeah, I love that. We're getting some love already in the chat. Wow, I feel special today. Guys, if you're new, type new into the chat. If you are coming back and joining us again, type in fam. Oh, we got some new people here. All right.
Yeah, got a
Some
lot of
fam back.
fans.
Ty. Oh, we got a lot of new peeps. Kalila's back. What's up, Kalila? Rome, what's up?
Here's James. Better late than never, right?
I'm here.
You're here. Yeah.
Hey, what's up, James? Ann is here.
Not much, fellas. How are you guys doing?
I'm doing fantastic. Gary just got back from the mastermind.
He knows that. We've been talking today. James, I like that deal. Let's get it.
Perfect. Good. I think that they're in. I just talked to them. They're a little like hesitant on how much money that they need. So to walk away.
Well, they're not going to get it in a short sale. They're going to get it more likely to get it in a Subto.
Yeah, they were the wife and the husband. They were both in different areas today, and they were going to talk this evening about it. So, and they both like the wife is super on. The husband was a little like bummed because I was like, I can give you what I offered him was $2,000 for them to stay in it. So
walking money.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, maybe we can even do better than that. Let's see if we can find an end buyer for that. Anyway, we're talking separate shop and we're not relating it. It's not related, but it is a foreclosure, pre-foreclosure, right?
Oh, it is on topic. Yeah. I love that. Where's this one located?
Desert Hot Springs.
Oh, hey, I'm buying in that area. Let me know.
I would buy this before I let you.
Oh, I'm going to
be a little piggy on this one. You're gonna have to go through me on this one, Curly.
I just got boxed out. Brutal.
The fight. Who's gonna get it?
Well,
if this were something that on the top, that family matter we talked about, that would be different. It's not appropriate for that.
Oh, okay, then I'm not interested.
But it's potential cash flow. But I've got some end buyers that could benefit from this one.
Love it.
Oh, okay, you got an end buyer?
I've got a couple potential end buyers for this one.
Okay, because I do have one investor that I just threw it out to him as well.
Okay, well, yeah, I like this one. It's in a good part of DHS, not the crappy part. So
today, guys, what I wanted to do, we've been talking a lot about foreclosures. And if you have not been with us, that's cool. That's fine. Go back to some of the videos that we've posted in the past. and take a look. Actually, let me see if I can
And
link
I do
this.
think it's going to be the ongoing theme. As everybody know, that PACE is going to be live on Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday this week. Yes, everybody know that. Everybody got that announcement. Terry got the memo. Anybody else got the memo? Okay, good. Yeah,
So
yeah. So the newest Elephant Challenge dates are Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, from 2 p.m. Pacific, 5 p.m. Eastern, to 4 hours each day, Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday. So unless he cancels it tomorrow, we're going to cancel our Wednesday session.
right. Yeah, so most likely, guys, we won't have our Wednesday session. But again, we'll let you guys know inside of the Circle app. So today, since we have been talking a lot about foreclosures, I want to kind of open it up to questions that you guys have specifically around foreclosures.
Is this the Wednesday meeting you just posted?
No, that was our last recording. It's in the chat, guys.
The last recording should have been last Wednesday.
Yeah, that's our last meeting, guys. If you guys want to take a look, we were troubleshooting real estate deals. And then on the
I got to put that where it belongs.
Yeah. On the YouTube channel, there are some other videos there, how to make money on foreclosures, and then how to door knock foreclosures, how to help owners in foreclosures. So literally the last 4 videos on my page, that's what they're about. Check them out. But right now, guys, I want to open it up to you guys in the chat. Who of you guys are calling on foreclosures? Yes or no? Couple. Oh, only a couple. Uh-oh. Awesome. James James typed in there too. He didn't want those other people to be alone.
I didn't know if I should or not.
That's all right. Yeah. Did some door knocking too. I love it. All right, guys. So can Gary give us a
I just
rundown?
did that little housekeeping
mastermind?
thing.
What was his take?
Rundown on the mastermind.
We'll talk about that after. Let's bring the questions like that to the end of the meeting, guys. That's a fantastic question, though. All right, guys. So in terms of foreclosures, if you have a question, if you're calling on them now, I want to know what your obstacle has been, what your experience has been. So raise your hand if you guys have questions, and we'll bring you up. All right.
Who's first? Ty.
Ty's got a question. What's up, dude?
Hey, this is actually a question from my accountability partner that we went door knocking with. But if a foreclosure has been in, and this may not, it might be kind of related, but what if if a foreclosure is happening because of a death and there's no apparent heir? Like, is there a way, have you ran into that situation before? And is there a way to kind of figure out who the next person in line that would own that home?
There is no heir apparent.
Yeah.
So how do you even know about it? I mean, tell me how you found this deal.
Well, one of them was like a vacant property. So it was like fenced up. This is in LA, and it was fenced up, and it's just been vacant for a while. And so we were trying to get more information about the property, maybe the heir, like the next in line inherited it, but they don't even know what to do with it because they're maybe out of state or something. But we were just trying to figure out, like we were scratching our heads if we don't know who that is there a way to figure that out? But I just didn't know whether any of you have come across that before. That was just the question.
Well, here's the deal. When someone dies owning a property with no heirs, and there's absolutely no heirs to be found, I mean, you can go looking, you know, even in like True People Search, if you know the name of the last owner and you can search on them, there'll be potential relatives in that response. There are also firms that you can hire that can do deeper detective work. But if there truly is no heir, then it becomes the state's property through a process called escheat. And that is spelled, and let me put it in here because this is a technical term. ESCHEAT. And this is actually one of the police powers of the state over real estate. let's see if I can remember them. There are 5. There's there's policing, there's eminent domain, taxation, there's I think there's a 5th one. That I guess I would have get one of the questions wrong if I took the real estate test today, but normally I can spit those out. It's been a long few days here for me. But it's one of the police powers, and that when the state takes the property through S-cheat, they own the property, and then they will auction it.
So we would see that manifest in an auction on some lists.
Well, but if there's a note due on it, then you can buy it at the foreclosure auction. So literally the bank will own it, and you can go to, like somebody mentioned here, auction.com is one way to find it, or James, thank you. Or the assessor may not know but you can look up on any property software who the lender is. So it will probably go to foreclosure if there's no one trying to get it.
I would move on, Ty. That's just me. If it were me, I would move on. It's taking too much of your time. It's not within the box of what you're focusing on. So just keep going.
Okay, thanks.
Yep. Thanks, Ty. Ty's been submitting a lot of deals lately.
That's great.
Nice.
So Hussein.
Yes. Hello, everyone. I have a quick question, and I was calling the foreclosure auction houses, and they are sometimes angry and upset. How can we deal with the emotion that's explosive emotion at the time?
Yeah, that's a fantastic question. In one of our earlier Zooms, we talked about the stages of grieving. Gary actually brought it up in one of our Zooms as well. And I actually went back and I looked through it, and it was really like eye-opening. And I would recommend that all of you guys Google the stages of grieving, and you actually look at the stages and what people are going through, because a lot of them will go through anger, and a lot of them, remember, are getting called a million times a day. And some of these investors don't have any empathy at all or any understanding of what they're truly going through, and they're just trying to pick some low-hanging fruit, right? So, if I call somebody and they pick up and I go, hi, yeah, I'm calling because, well, look, first off, how are you presenting yourself? That's the number one thing you want to consider, right? And so the way that I would present myself and position myself as somebody who helps people navigate the situation that currently experiencing when it comes to foreclosures, right? And have a list of things that you can help them to stop the foreclosure and help them overcome that obstacle, right? And so if they say something like, it's none of your business or whatever, I totally understand, John. You have every right to be upset. I can't imagine what it's like to be going through what you're going through. And the real person, or the real people that you might want to be upset about, are upset too, is the bank, because they don't have systems in place to help you through this. And somebody like me does. So that's really why I'm calling. I'm calling to figure out how I can help you, and if you're open to it. And John, I get if you're not open to it today, and if you don't want to hear from me, but I'd love to hear what you're going through, so maybe I could help you navigate it. There are 8 things, John, that you can do to stop this foreclosure and get over it. Did you want to hear that list, John? And open the conversation up, right? You have to address, why do you think they're upset in the first place? They're upset because people are calling them, they don't have any empathy, and they're getting nonstop barrage. So saying something like, John, I could imagine that it's really frustrating getting a million calls a day and having a lot of these people not even care about your situation. So I appreciate you even saying hello to me, right? And starting a conversation off like that, you're going to have a way different listening of that person on the other end. Does that make sense?
Yeah, very much.
Remember this is really important. If you're in this meeting right now, remember, this is not TV. I can see you. You should interact and pay attention, guys, and take notes. People want to feel felt. Write that down. People want to feel felt. So if you can compose a sentence in speaking with them that has them feeling like how they feel, it's going to unlock that door and you're going to be able to have a conversation with them. Right? It's not an argument, it's an
They
acknowledgement.
want to feel felt.
Yeah.
Feel felt. There's
right.
something that just doesn't sit well vocally with the way you vocalize that. I want to feel felt.
They want to
I want to feel
understand.
understood.
Yeah. Well,
That
no, don't ever say you understand. guys. Do
Heard.
not take understand out of your vocabulary.
Oh,
Do
yeah.
not say that you understand how they feel, because you don't. You want to say something like, I can't imagine what it's like to get 1 million phone calls every day and have to deal with the foreclosure that you're dealing with. I can only imagine it's not a great feeling, John. That's how you want to come across, guys. And they'll have a different listening of you. And
I think
may
they want
not.
to feel empathy, right?
Right.
That's where, just the language. And I'm sorry, I make a big deal of that, but feel felt just seems a little silly to me. I don't know.
Well,
They want to feel your empathy.
Thank you for your feedback,
right.
Gary. I appreciate it. Does that make sense, though, as to what I'm saying? Am I getting through here? Okay, cool. So that's where you want to come from. And then you have a different listening of them. Now, if you go back through the stages of grief, what you're going to see is a lot of anger in there, right? A lot of, they're going to go through a phase where they don't want to talk to people. And so what the biggest mistake that people make is, he told me to F off, so I'm never going to call him again. And the fact is that was the state of mind that they were in that minute, that day. And you got to follow up with them and always come from a place of compassion. Once they start talking to you, then it's about, are you able, John, to actually rebound from this financial situation? Can you get yourself back on track? If so, I'd love to point you in the right direction to help and assist you do that. Now, John, if you can't, and I know that you said you're going to do a loan mod, or you said that you hired this lawyer, and those are great steps, John. But in the event that that step doesn't work, what's your plan B? John, that's why I'm here. I want to be there just in case you need somebody to catch you. I'm the net. Right? So you make it clear that, yes, you do have an agenda, for lack of a better word, right? You are there for a reason. You are trying to make profit, but you're also trying to help somebody in the process. Is that helpful? Cool.
Yeah, I've actually heard a lot of stories about people that have been kind of going through this as well too, and then the people that are in this process in the foreclosure, they'll tell like the investor to piss off, whatever, get super angry with them, and then when they come back and follow up multiple times, and then they finally help them out through that deal, those people are extremely like just happy that you actually came back, because they're in a complete different mindset. And none of us, unless you've been into a foreclosure, then you've never been in that type of mindset, right? Because they're losing their homes, like there's so much going on. So rightfully so, they're so angry, probably angry at themselves, angry at the world. But man, they are like wanting somebody to help. And I would also say that I wouldn't say help a lot. I feel like saying help a lot also kind of throws them off, because that's what a lot of people kind of go at. It says, hey, I'm here to help. I'm here to help. And they're like, really? Are you really here to help? Or are you just trying to buy my house?
Yeah. And so there's a book, it's called Just Listen. It was written by Michael Goldstein. I don't have it on my bookshelf. I don't know why, but I've read it several times. This guy was hired by the FBI to negotiate and talk down terrorists and suicide attempts. I'll go ahead and link this in the chat right now. He talks about feeling felt in the way that he would negotiate. There's the link. So guys, pick up that book. It's actually really, really good. And it talks about how the brain and your amygdala can hijack conversations and your actions. And if you can just explain to somebody that you feel how they're feeling and know where they're coming from, then it can kind of down regulate that nervous system, and you get a different listening of them. It really, really important stuff, guys, when you're talking about foreclosures and you're working with people in foreclosures.
Yes, this is a time and a place where you do not have an agenda. You're there to listen, empathize, potentially help, but you have no agenda. Do not go there with the idea, I want to buy this property. Do not go there with the idea of anything.
Mhm.
It's all about that other person. And, Imran asks, would you do knock foreclosures? James is here because he is the king of knocking foreclosures. So if you have questions about door knocking foreclosures, raise your hand and let's talk to James here.
How do I
Do
say
we
your name
answer your
again?
question, Hussein?
How do I pronounce your name, dude? I don't want to say it wrong.
Hussein,
Hussein?
yes.
Okay. Yeah. And the last thing I would say, Hussein, is like third-party stories. That's the last thing I would say is like, look, John, I know that you're really upset and I understand. That's what I hear all the time. And we've helped over 100 people save their homes. And there's a small fraction of them that we've worked with to actually purchase their homes because they had no other option. And I understand that if you want to save your home, I totally get it. But I'd love to talk about how to save your home if that's something that you're open to. Right. Use those third-party stories so that they could say in their mind, oh, wait, he's actually helped somebody else. Maybe I'll give this guy a shot and listen to what he has to say.
Thank you. Thank you, guys.
Great question.
Excellent question. Thanks, Hussein. Leela, you're
Leila's back.
here.
What's up, girl?
How you guys
Hey.
doing? Hope everyone's doing well. Gary, I hope you recover from the masterminds extravaganza you went to over the weekend. So
I have, even the drive, I'm all better now. Woke up, I got my Monday going but my
Great.
head's still a little, my brain inside there, like, there's not enough room in here. I'm sorry.
I understand that. But my question is, I actually door knocked maybe 3 properties over the weekend. It was my first time doing it. Went by myself. I know they say you should go in pairs, but I did go by myself. I just went and did it just to try it. And I actually door knocked some properties that I was calling but I could never get anyone to answer. So one of the properties, the guy, we ended up talking, but his main thing is he's definitely wanting to keep his house, and he did a loan mod, but his question was to me, he wants to get a better terms for us, like not paying such a high, I guess, mortgage. I'm not sure how the loan mod works, but it sounds like it made his payments go up higher. So he said for him, if I want to help him, he wants me to figure out, is there a way that he can get better, lower payments? And he was making it sound as if like it was like a one-time thing, like he got behind on his mortgage. And it's one of those things like he's never had this happen before. It's, he talked with a lot of pride, like as if like, I don't really have any issues with my finances. It's just something that just happened. So that's my question. Like, what do you do? Like, I don't really have a response for him. I told him that I will research it and I'll take it back to my team and see what can we give him some advice on what to do. So that's
my suggestion would be immediately marry a wealthy woman, but I think James has better insight than I do. And of course, I'm just joking. James, I saw you smiling while Kalila was saying that. How many times have you come across that in the field?
A few, definitely, for sure. Like they all want to do that. And that's something that with the loan mods, not everybody understands because the interest rates, their back arrears and everything. Like when they do a loan mod, they're never going to get a lower mortgage than what they have right now because they got to start paying some of that stuff back. So everybody kind of thinks like, okay, cool, I'm going to get this loan mod. My payments are going to go down. It's going to be cheaper and I can stay here and they're going to work with me. That's not the case.
Gotcha. So basically the loan mod is just what he has. He has to pay it down basically.
In most cases, unless it's an FHA,
It depends on the loan. That's what
partial claim, a loan mod is essentially a new loan. So you're going to start paying current interest rates. So the better solution would have been to come up with a separate loan to pay off the arrears so you could have retained his old interest rate, but he's already past that at this point. So unfortunately, a little too late. he didn't get your guidance soon enough, Kalila.
Right, because when I started talking to him, he was very guarded. So, you know, I just be quiet and I just literally let him vent. I didn't interrupt him. He pretty much just dumped everything out until he realized, I think he caught himself when he was just talking maybe 10 minutes straight. And I was just nodding my head like, I understand. Like, that's tough, you know, I was just adding little stuff like that. But I think once we finished talking, he felt better getting that all out, but he's still in the situation. But just to have someone to listen to him and not interrupt and not just be combative with him in a sense, just let him talk. That's pretty much what I did. Just sat down and talked.
To Patrick's point and his recommendation, just listen.
Yeah.
You you performed perfectly in that situation.
Yeah, and remember, clearly, you're positioning yourself as somebody who can help them, and if they're, I mean, I don't fully understand the situation here. It sounds like he successfully completed a loan modification. Is that correct?
He completed a loan modification, but he
Okay.
doesn't like the payments there too. He's saying he doesn't want to pay that high payment. He wants to find another financial tool that can actually lower the payments since he went through the loan mod. I think he thinks that, okay, I did the loan mod, I learned my lesson. Now can I get lower payments? That's what it comes across to me.
Yeah, as soon as the interest rates drop, he can always go and refi, but that's really the only answer. And he may have to wait a little while because he injured his credit. So his credit needs to his FICO's got to return back to normal level. So he's going to have to suffer those payments. The other option is sell the property, but we know he wants to keep it.
He definitely wants to keep it. I know he mentioned HELOC to me. He was saying that he wanted to see if he can get a HELOC, but I'm not that well versed in all these different
home
financial
equity line of credit. If he doesn't like his payments now, he's certainly not going to like them with a HELOC.
Well, you know, the HELOC, they're adjustable rate and they adjust every month. It's not like a 1-year adjustment. So I was going to say with interest rates mortgage rates hit 8% today? Does anybody know? Is anybody watching? I haven't had time to check, but some day this week, they're going to hit 8 or more in likelihood. And now we're getting into the territory where an ARM is all kind of appealing because of getting a fixed rate at 8% now means the only way you're going to get anything less than 8% is a refi. And ARMs can go up and down.
7.93 is the national 30-year fixed right now.
Right now, okay. Well, we're an inch or two away from
We can call it 8.
But it's not quite 8, but we're getting there. We may go past 8 this week.
Gotcha. Okay, well, I did leave the conversation saying if it was okay for me to continue to just check on him to just see how things are going with him, to just keep I guess some type of connection with him, because I think he was kind of just thinking like, what the hell do you want? Like, why are you at my house and all of that? And I was like, well, you know, hey, I'm just here to see if it was any assistance that was needed. You know, are you having any current issues with the bank? You know, me and my team are in the neighborhood and we're just asking neighbors, you know, to see if it's anything going on with your banking. So
is there an auction on record for this guy?
He does have an auction.
And it's coming up?
It's actually kind of new. It's
okay. Well, if he's got the loan mod, is he still not paying on the loan mod?
He said he's made his first payment.
Oh, okay. Well, then that should go away.
Right, because they got to do 3 of them, correct?
The notice of sale will go away ultimately. Yeah.
But he has to make 3 payments.
Yeah, 3 trial. Yeah, most of them have a trial period of 3.
So say that again. So with a loan
mod, most of them have a 3-month trial period. There's a different with an FHA loan, you can do a partial claim, in which case the FHA pays the interest arrearages and the principal gets tacked onto the back end. and the terms remain the same. So if you have an FHA, that's the kind of load mod you want, not the traditional. But if you have a conventional, then you get the kind this guy did.
Okay.
Okay,
I
so
didn't
good.
know
You're learning even more. So the next time you're out in the field, Kalila, you'll be able to talk even more better about it. There's also in check your state. A lot of states, counties, and private organizations in states have mortgage assistance programs.
Mhm.
And like California is really wonderful. They're grants. It's grant money, so it's not money that has to be paid back. So you should if you're door knocking in Georgia, then you should be making yourself familiar with every mortgage assistance program in the state and learning those. So, and you can do that right online. Just search mortgage assistance in Georgia.
Yeah, I'm familiar with some of the down payment assistance. I know Atlanta has Invest Atlanta. There's, I think it's about 2 or 3 of them that I've heard of that they provide assistance with down payments.
Well, here we don't, those down payment programs are different from save your ass programs in a mortgage, you know. So we want the save your ass programs, right?
Exactly.
Okay.
I like that, Gary. I like that a lot. Yeah, you're definitely right.
Hey, Kalila, out of curiosity, did he happen to give you what his total payment was with the no?
He didn't. He only gave me what he wanted to let me know about. He was still, he was open but not open, so I was only able to get what he was willing to talk about. Like if I had questions, he was still kind of guarded as into, what I would ask. So I didn't really even try that much.
Well, you're not best friends yet, you know.
Right.
It takes 2 or 3 visits to become best friends.
Exactly. I would stick with the follow-up on this one because if he's not happy with the payment right now, then a couple months into it, he might be deciding like, hey, I got to do something. And at that point, you could be doing a sub. I mean, you could do whatever, right? Wholesale at Subto at that point in time.
Right.
Keep checking.
Well, that's why I asked him, was it okay if I just, continue to stay in contact with him? And he was like, sure, but he was basically saying, you can stay in contact with me, but I'm pretty sure I got it, but you're welcome to stay in contact with me. I was like, okay, cool. That's all I asked. And so it just kept it moving.
Just do a friendly little stop by.
Yeah.
Go get it.
Thanks.
Good job. Good work. And please, please, please bring somebody with you when you're door knocking, Kalila.
Yeah, are you taking mace or like pepper spray or something?
I had some pepper spray and I had a baseball bat, but it wasn't. It was
dang,
in my
girl.
And a baseball.
It was in my truck because I didn't know how it was going to end up. So I was just like, man,
okay, I got my pepper spray and my baseball bat. What do I use?
Right. So I know that was a no to do, but it was in the middle of the day and the neighborhood I went through, I felt comfortable enough to get out and try it. There was one property that I did not try. I didn't feel comfortable there. So I just rode through and I was just like, I don't think I'm gonna get out on this one because this one looks a little iffy. So
Right.
Well, if you see gang tags on the front of the building, you definitely want to stay away. Definitely.
Right.
Careful.
Thanks, guys.
All right, Kalila, thank you. You always bring great questions to the floor. We love you for that.
No problem.
And Noel, I guess, is next. Can you start your video, Noel?
My camera's not working.
All right, well, we can't spell.
Oh, you can see that.
Yeah, we can't.
It's like half, that's why I do that.
Oh, okay.
Okay.
Time to get an external camera for your laptop.
Yeah, well, you can buy me one for my birthday. So I have a question, gentlemen. Wanted to find out how you do your marketing. How much marketing per deal? What kind of ROI you're getting on your marketing? And do you change up your marketing per the particular niche, be it expired, foreclosures, etc.?
I mean, that's a really broad question. You'd have to really dial the question in. Like, are you talking about outbound or inbound marketing?
Outbound. And,
Yeah, so
basically reaching out to prospective, people in foreclosure, right? So there'll be outbound marketing.
right. So with my team, we basically do calls. We're mainly direct to agent, and we do a lot of in California, we're doing mainly cash deals. So we don't actually focus primarily on foreclosures. With the program that we're doing now, with everybody coming into our team, we're providing them lists and resources so that they can call. So I don't really have any metrics for you in terms of, how much is spent. But I can tell you, from people that I work with and network with inside of the mentorship, most of them are just doing text messages. They're not doing any like mailers. They're not, doing anything else. They're not doing any like, actual ads. They're just going direct to those sellers and shooting text messages and calls. I measure most things in my business. I actually don't even look at how much I'm spending, honestly, because we're making a lot of money. That's just me being honest. Like, I know exactly how many calls are being made, how many text messages, the calls connected, the average time. Like, I know all those metrics, but the cost of what we're doing is so negligible, I don't even track it.
Okay, thank you for that, Patrick.
Any follow-up on that?
And so
No, I appreciate that because everyone's at different stages, and not everyone necessarily has, $2 to $5 grand to spend per month. For folks that have been doing this for a decade or so. So a lot of people at different levels coming in, starting out, want to find out what is the most effective marketing per the budget that they have. So thank you for saying that.
Yeah, I get all my deals through referrals and working my sphere. James is earlier in the journey. He's out door knocking and doing lower cost. That's sweat equity in doing that. Plus you're calling, right, James?
Yep.
And Patrick has a pretty sophisticated operation with direct to agent right now. You're not doing direct to seller at this point, really, right?
We're really close. Really close.
Yeah, but that's where you start spending money. But if you have that, get that really dialed in, and that's when you really need to be tracking the costs and the numbers, because you can run up a bill really quickly with that. So once you get into that realm, the sky's the limit in terms of growth, but the costs are unlimited as well. So you've got to track that really carefully to make sure you're staying profitable and not just spinning the wheels, getting deals and spending all the money you're bringing in, because that can happen. And you can, if you don't have it dialed in, a lot of people try that right away out of the gate. And if the list, the input is going to be, your output's going to match your input. So if you've got crap data going in to that dialer and you're not dialing the right numbers in the right frequency and the right sequences, then you're going to lose a lot of money really quickly. You're going to burn through a lot of dollars. So it's good that you recognize that, Noel, and that you can avoid that pitfall.
Yeah, I mean, I could give you some metrics because I actually owned an agency before doing this. Like, I know the cost per lead. It depends on really what you're targeting and like what platform you're on. But like, so for us, we're basically pure outbound calling and texting. We probably spend less than $1,000 a month on marketing. And, we're making anywhere from 20 to 60 a month, 20 to 60K a month. And then, so if you're doing actual inbound marketing, you could expect to pay anywhere from $30 to $150 a lead. And then, it depends on your sales process in terms of your cost per conversion. That's going to be all over the place because it's not a set thing, right? People talk about cost per conversion and it's like, well, who was on the sales call, right? Like, what does your sales process look like? So that's going to vary. But if you are spending money on marketing, you're going to be spending anywhere from $5,000 to $20,000, $30,000 a month. If you go into how to build a real estate business on my YouTube channel, we talk a little bit about marketing and where to start. And I think most people should be talking to agents first, just because you're going to get more reps. Has nothing to do with how much money you're going to make. It has everything to do with experience and reps, in my opinion. Yes, you can make a lot of money doing it, but you got to get to a place where you can read between the lines, start vetting deals, and you understand the conveyor belt of a transaction and getting it from A to Z.
And outbound direct to seller is more complex because you have the cost of generating the list data. You have the the automated calling tools. So you have another layer of technology there. You're going to need VAs and lead managers and closers, and it gets to be, you know, a much bigger operation really quickly in order to effectively exploit that model. So that's a really great question. I really appreciate your asking. Let's see who's next here. Imran. Did I say it right, Imran? Unmute yourself.
Yeah, I said it right. Imran.
What's up, man? Welcome
Hi,
back.
hi, Gary. Hi, Patrick. So I have done some calls and door knocking for foreclosures. So my experience, when I go door knock, I don't say that I know about their situation. I just simply say, we're looking to buy a house in this area and things like that. And I even hand out contact information and note. You know, um, the few people I have talked to, the response was like, no, we don't want to sell the house. We have no interest of selling the house, and they don't want to talk anymore. The other person was pretty upset and just gave the note back to me. It's like, no, we are not going to sell our house. So when a stranger knocks on a door, somebody's in trouble, going through foreclosure, I just can't imagine how they would be open to have a conversation with the strangers about their personal problem. So I wanted to see how James, it looks like James is doing a lot of door knock. How do you handle this as a stranger first time with somebody in foreclosure?
Yeah, you just have to walk up and, be really respectful, like go there with empathy. And, it's all about like how you greet them really when they answer the door. I say, hey, my name's James. I'm actually just reaching out to homeowners that are having some issues with the bank. And, they'll either open up right then and there about it, or they'll be like, well, what do you mean? Like issues with the bank? What are you talking about? I don't have any issues. And they're like, then I'll be like, well, your house, the mortgage. And then I'll kind of just pause. And then, they'll either pause and think about it, or they'll say something real quick and then they'll open up. And, kind of depending on what stage they're in at that moment, we could have a really great long conversation about it, or they might be real quick and say, hey, I got everything handled. And a lot of them, when you start door knocking, they will tell you that they got it handled. And they'll be like, I'm working with an attorney, I'm doing the loan mod. They'll give you all those excuses, and when they start doing that, you just really just like ask open-ended questions about it and ask kind of like how it's working out and what they're going to do about it. And then just kind of, just fill out the conversation.
Yeah.
And
so,
really just,
yeah, go ahead. Sorry, James.
I was going to say, really just let them talk as much as possible and just ask like open-ended questions and just let them like pour everything into you. And the more that they talk, the more information that you're going to get.
Yeah. And if you dissect this, right, like I've door knocked, I'm not an expert, I don't pretend to be, but if you dissect how foreclosures typically happen, you're going to see a lot of them go under contract within the last 48 hours. So now I appreciate that you come up to the door and you're very honest. Hey, I'm looking to buy a house, right? But you have to remember that the majority of them do not want to sell, right? So if you position yourself as somebody who is there to accomplish what they do not want to happen, you're going to get shut down like almost immediately, right? And that you can expect to get that response. But if you come across as somebody who is like, hey, I'm here to help you possibly navigate this situation and point you in the right direction if you haven't already thought about going in that direction, and just keep in contact with you, then when you do get to that 48-hour window of time, they do remember you. They do want to listen to your voicemail. They do want to pick up your phone call. They do want to read your text and respond to it, right? it's no longer a cold text or a cold call because you are literally in front of them to hand them something or to shake their hand and knock on their door, right? It changes everything at that point. So again, a lot of these people, they're not going to want to sell, and that's, of course, they want to save their home, and you could possibly help them with that. But you also want to be there in the case that they have no other options. And a lot of these people, they let it go until the very last minute. And luckily, if you've built rapport, you're there to actually help them with the best option. And it's typically either a cash deal or a Subto.
And
Yeah.
one thing I can imagine is like, I go there, say, hey, I want to help with your situation. And they're like, why do you want to help me? What's your gain out of this? You know, what are you going to get out of this if you just help me?
Be honest, out of 1,000 properties, we'll probably buy 10. And the majority of those people out of those 1,000, we're going to help save their homes. We're there to purchase a home when you have no other choices. I know that's what you told me you don't want to do, John, and I completely respect that. But what happens if that loan mod doesn't go through, John? What happens if your lawyer drops the ball, John? We see it all the time. Right? Come from a place of compassion.
And paint a picture for them and let them, like, that's why I was saying, when you ask those open-ended questions, and they'll start telling you more, and they'll start understanding like the situation, and they'll start like weeding out all the stuff that's not going to work. And then they'll all of a sudden get down to, okay, well, I guess loan mod's not going to work, then I'm going to have to sell, so they'll get a way better understanding what they need to do when you start listing out all those like options. And then they start canceling out the options, and they're like, yeah, that's not going to work for me. That's not going to work for me. Okay, I guess this is the one,
And so with me and my sales, like, I have my own experiences, and I also hear about experiences that other investors have, and I borrow from that bank of stories. So if I'm talking to somebody, why are you here on my front porch? Like, what do you get out of helping me? Well, you know what? I don't get anything but the pride of actually helping. In fact, we helped a lady just the other day who couldn't see. She couldn't even see her own mortgage statements. And I knocked on her door and I was able to help her read through that. That's not my story. That's James's story. Right? But I'm borrowing it at a third party story. And that's going to be very powerful because it's going to take them out of that situation and put them into a story where they're like, oh, okay, so I guess that would make me feel good too. All right, I guess I'll listen to what you have to say.
Anthony Johnson, mostly cash because those are the most plentiful deals. That's why. Does that make sense to you? Coming across creative deals, that's like finding the unicorns out there. Cash deals are plentiful. So that's why it's Patrick said he's mostly cash deals, because that's where the volume is. The creative deals are the rare few that you can make. Now, I've got a pipeline of 6 creative deals right now. 5 of them are pre-foreclosure. Only one, James and I have a deal we're doing, is not a pre-foreclosure. This is somebody who wants to sell a house that's not real sellable at the moment. So he's selling it on Subto. Does that make sense, Anthony? Okay. Just trying to catch up with the chat. Some people won't raise their hand. I don't know if they're afraid of being on camera here with us.
So Imran, is that helpful?
Yeah, no, definitely it does. So wondering, do you have that list of 8 options that I could hand out to a homeowner?
I do.
Yeah, we've been publishing that, right?
Yeah,
I have.
On your website?
Isn't it on your resources site?
It's not, but by the end of today, guys, I'll have it up with a script for you guys.
You want me to grab it real quick? I'll grab it and put the link.
That would be, that would be super helpful.
Okay, great. All right. Yeah, that's helpful. Thank you so much.
Yeah. That's a great question because I know a lot of people are thinking the same thing.
8 ways to stop. Ways to stop.
All right, I am going to remove Spotlight and add one to Dylan, one of my action takers. What's up, dude?
Yo.
Hey guys.
Is your brain fully recovered from our last action taker meeting? Because I was melting some minds.
How did that go? We didn't find out because I couldn't make it.
It was good.
It was amazing. Learned a lot. Patrick was just letting us get so much insight into how he runs his stuff, and it yeah, I was pretty, pretty mind blown. Not gonna lie.
Great. That's awesome to hear.
I'm glad
Yeah.
you showed up. I was surprised so many people showed up.
Yeah. Yeah, it's good to see you too, Gary. I know.
What
I
a
missed-
chance to get inside behind the curtain with Patrick Curley. Are you kidding?
No, I'm surprised people like to hang
That's
out with me.
like that's gold, solid gold. Borderline platinum, right? Maybe even a little titanium laced in there,
Yeah,
right?
I got it. Now I have to live up to all that. What's up, bro? What do you got for us?
I just had a question, real quick. So, do counties usually organize the auction date like pretty close every month? It's like they have their auctions. Do they do it in the like this day we're gonna do the 17th. Next month we're gonna do, 20th, and we're all
It's
gonna
not the
do they-
county.
is that
It's not the
California?
counties that make those decisions. It's the trustees. And yeah, they do try to batch them.
It depends on the state too. Like I think Texas does it on the first Tuesday of the month. So it just really depends on the state and what Gary said, the trustee.
Okay.
The best
Yeah,
way to
that's-
really get the information is to either talk to the seller or the agent and see what the story is. California is tough, dude. I'll be honest with you, just because at least in my experience, and I think James said this a couple times too, it's like it just feels like it's this perpetual thing that never ends. It's like, oh, an auction date's coming. Nobody's concerned. It's like that's what it just feels like. I don't know if that's true or not, but we've had a few where we've closed on, but generally speaking, from my experience, they always just push the date.
Yeah, I actually had a Subto student bring me a foreclosure lead last week, and we were looking at it, and I pulled up, the history of the transactions and stuff, and they've been bouncing in and out of it for almost over 10 years. It was
Yeah,
crazy.
isn't it amazing when you see that? It's like, what is it with these people?
It's insane how that they can live their life for like that for so long.
Yeah.
Do
Sad.
you think that's with a lawyer? 10 years?
Just
Like,
think about how much extra interest and interest and penalties they've had to pay. It's like, that's a super expensive way to keep a mortgage in and out of foreclosure over a 10-year period. It's crazy.
All for a house.
Like, I'm going to buy a car and pay every payment 3 months late. I'll make
Yeah,
it
I
as
mean, so
expensive
Dylan,
as-
like with states like Texas, for example, when they say there's an auction, there's an auction. You know what I mean? And so it's different in a red state. I mean, I'm speaking generally speaking. Again, I'm not an expert on foreclosures. You're gonna have to do a little bit of research in each state, but from my understanding, like just this is just an example, California versus Texas, like completely different worlds, right? Like you're gonna have an auction on that date in Texas. It's gonna happen. There's a timeline. California, there's a lot more, it's a lot looser. It might have to do with politics, but that's just the way it is. So if you don't feel like you're having a lot of luck or getting a solid timeline with the foreclosures in a specific area, then you may want to choose a different state, or dare I say it, focus on a different list. Good thing we've provided some for you. Does that answer your question, bro?
Yes, thank you guys.
Cool, man. Dylan,
Is it-
always a pleasure
well-
having you. You have amazing energy. Always smiling, this guy. I don't know. Maybe I need to drink
Yeah,
with
Dylan's got positive energy for sure. Thanks, Dylan. Appreciate you.
Yeah, bro, keep it up.
Is it Quayon?
Kaon rhymes with
Kaon?
crayon.
Kaon. Kaon rhymes with crayon. I love it. What's up, dude?
Yeah. What's
We've
going
had
on?
you in here before.
Huh? Yeah.
You've been here before.
Yeah, we've
Yeah.
had you.
Yeah. Yeah, I just wasn't here like last week. But so I've been calling direct to agents. I like it more because I get to actually speak to people. But
Who want to talk to you,
right.
or at least at first, right?
Right. Now sometimes they do want to talk though. Sometimes you might not get nothing out of it, but you'll get like a good conversation with the person.
Right.
But I wanna know, why is it that I have to be leaving like a lot of voicemails and I'm not getting return calls? Is it because my market is in Arizona and my phone number is in New York? Or because a lot of them are not picking up, I have to leave voicemails, and then only some of them return my calls, and the ones that do return my calls.
What's your process? You just call and leave a voicemail? Do you
Yeah, I
send a
don't-
text? Do you
I
send a
don't- I
text
don't-
after you leave the
No, I don't text
voicemail?
them. No.
Text after you leave the voicemail.
Yep.
All right. And
And the text should say, hi, I'm interested. Just left a voicemail. I'm interested in your property at blah, blah, blah. But if you're still not getting calls back, then try getting an Arizona phone number. What's the big deal, man? You
Yep.
know, you're not talking about a humongous investment.
Yeah.
all right, because the same thing with especially with these customers on the foreclosure list. I get their number, but like I haven't had anybody pick up. I think that's also because my number is foreign, but yeah, and then no return phone calls or anything.
Well, you know, the way even as an agent, I have that problem. So
Yep.
I'll call them, I leave a voicemail, and then I immediately text them. And I text them with my business card and I say, left you a voice message, want to talk about, 123 Main Street. And most of the time I get a call back. Some of them I don't know how they do business. They're such freaking
That's what I want to
losers.
know.
I know,
Like,
you're right,
We deal with it all the time. And even agents that we have good rapport with, sometimes they'll just not respond. You just got to be diligent. And so there's a few things like, number one, you got to remember that a lot of these agents, they're not doing multiple transactions like Gary and I. Like, this is like their part-time thing, right? They might have a 9 to 5. You know what I mean?
Okay.
So the time at where you're calling, and then so like texting, like Gary was saying, that's really important too. So we'll call and then we'll say, hey, I'm just calling you in regards to your listing at 123 Main Street. This is really, really important because you'll have agents who want to converse through text. And I tell my team, like, no, do not do that. Like, we're not closing deals over text.
Right.
You want to get on the phone so that they remember you and you can build rapport and also kind of interpret the tonality of what they're saying so you can read the situation. So what I'll text back is if they, well, what questions do you have? They'll respond with that, right? And I'll respond with, hey, I'm sorry, I'm driving right now. Can we do this over the phone? I always say that because I don't want to do it over text. I want to get them on the phone. But you just got to be diligent and figure out like, okay, well, I texted them at 10 a.m. That's not working. What about 5? And change it up.
All right, definitely send them a text.
It's definitely not you, dude. Trust me.
Yeah, no, I know. I just wanted, but that's why I'm asking because I want to see what other methods. Because I've thought about texting, and then I guess being lazy or being and I'm like, whatever, they don't want to do no business. I just kind of just disregarded it. But hearing you guys tell me that, so makes me want to actually go do it now. So
you're gonna get a better response if you have a local number as well. Dude,
right, okay.
I do deals in Northern California and Southern California. If I call from a Northern California number to LA, I'll have agents who mention that. Like, are you from here? And I'm like, dude, I'm in California. Like, you know what I mean? Like, they have a problem with that. So you're gonna get a better response rate.
Yeah, I have the same problem too, and I'm doing deals all over the state myself. So, but fortunately, my cell phone overlay, a lot of people mistake for one from LA County, and other people don't know it at all. So, as long as it says California there, I think you're good, right? Or in your case, Arizona.
Right. So I'll get an Arizona number, and I will be texting. And for the customers, I mean, not for customers, for the homeowners. So I use that script. I help people with their that having bank problems. I leave that as a voicemail. Is that because they don't pick up? So is that a good voicemail to leave or?
Sure.
All right.
James, opinion.
Yeah, what I've heard a lot of people that they don't even waste time leaving voicemails because they won't call back. So
yeah. So just text, right? If they don't pick up, just text. All right.
Could be up to you.
And
I would be double calling, right? If they don't answer, call back twice, call back 3 times.
Yeah.
Triple dial. That's how they do it on the Closers Cafe, on the Closer Olympics. They triple dial.
That's what I do. If I call in a different area that I know my area code's different, because I go into a couple different markets as well, and for sure, like I definitely double dial, sometimes triple dial, but absolutely I will always double dial.
Yep.
Keyword is diligence.
Yes, sir.
For sure.
All right.
So we got you, Keon.
Appreciate you.
All right. We appreciate you. Come
All right,
back
thanks.
come back with more questions. So
Thanks, bro.
Luxley,
Hey,
how
what's
are you,
up?
man? You
How
got a
you
little
doing?
light on your face now. Awesome. We get to see the handsome man.
What's up?
Yes.
What's up, bro?
Hey, James, I got a question for you. And door knocking.
Yeah, bro. I'll see if I got an answer.
Okay. Do you ever take something that you can leave behind, like a flyer or some note or something? Or
Yeah,
sticky
I would
note?
actually just leave a little like 3x5 little note and just say I at first I was saying, "Hi, this is James. Give me a call," and then I wasn't getting a whole lot of response. And then I was leaving, "Hey, neighbor, give me a call with my phone number," and that one absolutely works really well. And a couple things can happen, like if they call you, they might want to know where you live, and so sometimes that can get a little awkward if you're not like right in the neighborhood, but you know it's kind of easily to resolve. But I wasn't really ever bringing any like solid brochures or any paperwork because I really wanted to go there um trying to help and not be like, you know, I didn't want to be like an agent trying to go and just take over the house, right? And that's kind of how I felt. Like if somebody was approaching me and they were all super dressed up with briefcase, brochures, and stuff with a bunch of paperwork, I think I would be feeling a little off, me personally. So that's kind of what I did. So it was just really just, you know, if they weren't there, I
I
was just
love the
leaving.
idea that you were putting notes on their door that said, "Hey, it's your neighbor. Give me a call."
Yeah,
Oh,
I
and
love
it
that.
works.
I love that.
That's perfect.
And
I
I've
would think
actually,
I would think brochures or pre-printed material, stuff
Just
like
gonna
that,
trash it.
right in this trash can.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. Circular
Yeah.
file, not happening.
yeah,
Hey,
you know,
Patrick.
Yep.
Okay, thanks. Patrick,
sir.
that gentleman sent me a text last night.
Gentlemen,
He-
which one are we referring to? There's been a lot of
With
gentlemen.
the I think it was 9 or 10 properties that I
Got it.
sent you.
Okay.
He wanted to know how I knew about the package. So I told him, I texted him back. I said, one of my property scout within that county sent it to me. I don't know how we get it. So I have not heard back from him. I left him a voicemail on Friday because he was out of town. So he asked me to just text him. So I did. So he responded yesterday.
Cool. What's your question?
So the number that I think I sent you also his name and number.
Yeah. So what you want to do now is you want to give them a call and see what kind of terms they're open to. If they're not open to allowing an investor to cash flow, then they're not willing to work with an investor. No investor is going to buy this at whatever crazy interest rate they were expecting.
Yeah, I think he wanted 8% or something like that.
Yeah, I want to fly.
Yeah.
I want wings.
Okay, and we said so I go back to him around 5.
5%? No, sub 5. You want you got to make sure it cash flows. So plug it into a mortgage calculator, look at the average rents.
Right, okay.
And you want to make sure that you're including your your insurance and your new tax assessment.
Taxes.
Yeah. You add all that up. If there's an HOA, put that in there too. Then 20% of your capital expenditures for your rent. So if you're getting, $2,000 in rent, you're taking another 400 out for CapEx. So after all of that, if it's positive, then it's a deal.
Okay.
And then the down payment will depend on the condition of the home. Homes, plural.
Right. Yeah, I think he wanted 10% down.
Great.
And he
minus costs, minus rental, and we have a deal. Yeah.
Okay. So I'll touch base with him tomorrow, try to reach him, and then I'll follow up with you.
Dude, if we close this portfolio, I'm gonna have to fly down there and we're gonna do margaritas.
Ooh, bro.
Where are you at again, Luxley? Are you in Florida?
Yes, I'm in Hudson.
Oh, okay. We're gonna have to do some Cuban food then.
Yeah, north of Tampa.
Oh yeah. Get a tan. Love it.
So I take it Luxley was in the Thursday meeting, huh?
No, I couldn't make it.
Didn't-
I would be away for a while. I'm flying out I'm going to the islands for a couple of weeks.
Luxley had bigger things on his calendar.
Yeah, I have to go and get my wife.
He's doing big deals, man. He's over here pulling strings. All right, man. Well, let me know if they come back down to earth. Then I'll be there for the phone call.
Okay.
All right, bro.
All right, thanks, Luxley.
You're
Nat,
welcome, guys.
start your video. I can highlight you.
Nat, what's up, dude?
I don't know. Maybe he's
Nat, you there? There you are.
There we go.
What's up, dude? I think you're on mute, brother.
Unmute.
Looks like he's running.
Say
from
hello.
Salem.
Hello, can you hear me?
There we go. Now we can hear you. Okay, you're in the game now, Nat. What's your question?
Hi Gary, hi Patrick, James, hi James. Hi,
Good to see you
everybody.
again. Good to see you again, Nat.
Yeah, thank you. I have two questions, but the first question is, last time I heard that Patrick would like to find some deals in LA. So how can I find help to do that?
Okay, well, we've covered this a couple times, but so there's lists that we've provided to you. But essentially, you know, if in LA, I could do both cash and creative. So if you've got a deal if it's a cash wholesale deal, anywhere from like 60 to 70% ARV, then it's a deal, and we'll be able to move that, and you can get paid on that. Or creative, if you find a deal like on the list that we provided, there's low equity, 60 days on market, those lists that we provided. There's foreclosures in LA. There's also expired listings that we provided where you can call the owner, and usually it's, you know, low equity. And then there's vacant properties, which could be cash deals or creative. It just depends on the numbers.
Okay.
Yep.
I heard
all of those lists have been provided.
Okay. And that includes I remember your conversation with Jason Lee. You told him to look for some multi something. So that's part.
Yeah, I'm interested in
something like that.
multifamilies as well. That's a little bit more complicated, but you can still follow the script, and if they ask you questions that you don't understand, then you can just tell them, you know what, I don't have an answer for you, but I could talk to my partner about it.
Okay. All right, thank you. And the second question I have is, this morning I talked to an agent, and that house is like almost $1 million, and the loan is 50%, like $500,000, and the equity is about 500,000. And I told him that is that okay for us to assume the loan? And then he said that he would check with his seller, and then he called me back. He said that, okay, so what about the equity?
Is it owner occupied?
No, this is a triplet. This is triplet. I mean, like, is that the right word, triplex? Yeah, sure. It's renting right now.
Okay.
It's about $7,000 a month cash flow in, and he asked me, what about the equity? Do you have cash to pay for that? And I told him that I would check with my partner.
There's a lot of different things that with seller finance, you can do a lot of different things. So ideally, I would give them a nice fat payment up front, and then I'd have that in silent second for at least 5 to 7 years. If they don't like that, then what's the interest rate at, do you know?
For the loan, I checked previous, it's low, it's not that high. I forgot that it's around 5% or lower.
So what I would say is that, to answer his question, I would say there's a lot of different ways that we can structure this deal and pay out that equity. I know for a fact that we can't pay it all out in one lump sum, but I know my partner would be willing to negotiate how it's paid out. All my partner really cares about is cash flow.
Okay.
Does that make sense?
Yes, that's why I told him that I just gave a number. As long as it makes sense for us, like $300 per month cash flow, that would be okay for us. But
what I say to guys like this is like, look, you're an investor. You've been cash flowing on this. Now you got to give the next person a chance.
Right.
So and that's all about the terms. So that 15 years from now, it's a whole different story, but it's out here in California, it takes a while to get there. So, as one investor hands off the property to another investor, they got to help a little bit with the terms so that we can start with some cash flow and grow into it.
Right,
Those are kinds of things you can say to other multifamily owners.
100%. I agree with all of that. And I mean, I can almost guarantee that the rents aren't stabilized. Like 9 times out of 10, they're not. So that means I'm going to be making less cash flow than I potentially could. So I need terms that are favorable to allow that to happen. So if they're open to carrying the note on the equity and working with me on negotiating how to pay that out, then I'm more than happy to take that phone call. If they want if they want 500K up front, then they can hold the property for as long as they want. It's not going to happen.
Okay. I will tell them that. It seems to me that the agent told me that how would you pay our cash? I mean, our equity.
Yeah, the answer is it depends, and all we need is cash flow.
Okay. All right.
Cool.
Okay, that's all right. Thank you very much.
Yeah,
Thank
and
you.
then Nat, give them a call, see if they're open to that, and then if they are, ask for their general availability, and I'll call and close it.
Okay, I will. Yeah, thank you.
Cool, Nat.
Am I saying it correctly when I say Sunika? Thanks, Nat.
Sunika.
Thank you.
Sunika, okay.
Yeah.
That was my first impulse, but then I thought maybe I'm wrong. I shouldn't second
you're all
guess
good.
myself, but I saw you stop the fan so you don't have that propeller head effect.
Yeah, it was bothering me, so I know it had to bother you. It feels good.
Yeah, well,
but then
it looks
look
like
good.
you got a little propeller head spinning. You're right, just the right place to center on the fan, right?
It's just bothering
So
my eyesight.
good
so I knew it had to
move.
bother everybody.
Good move, Sunika.
But thank you guys once again for helping us all the time. First off, second off, I've been calling. I had the day off, so I've been calling Texas, and usually I just send this. I got a lead that's actually interested in subject to, and unfortunately, I caught her on the last day. I guess the seller is trying to make a decision today on which offer. I guess he has a couple cash offers that are really low, she said, and then even another subject to offer. So my question was, is there any way, I don't know if you have time or what, since I have to send it shortly here, is there any way you can look at the information I have on this property and maybe help me write up some kind of offer, or just tell me, hey, that's not a deal?
You know what their interest rate's at?
Yeah, 2.67. I
Okay.
think I'm trying.
Do you know how much
Here we
equity
go.
they have?
There we go. I don't know if you can see that.
I don't need to see it. We can just rapid fire these questions. What's
All right,
what's their
you.
asking price?
They're asking 272,500.
What do they owe on it?
They owe 215.
Okay. So there's very low equity.
Right. So there's not a lot of equity. And
So
based on, I use Privy and all that stuff, and based on what I saw, it looks like the home's probably like 250, I would say. I think they're asking a lot more than it's worth.
Okay.
I'd say it's
So
probably like 250.
any cash deals that they've received are probably too low to satisfy the note.
Right. Exactly. That's what I'm figuring. They're probably offering 200 or something like that.
Is it is it rent ready?
It is. It's a beautiful house. It's 2021, I think, or 2020.
Okay, so you said they owe what?
They owe 215.
215
at 910 a month.
And you said it's worth 250?
Yeah, I think it's worth 250. But going off of comps off of Privy that sold within the last 6 months.
Do you know what some rents for in that area?
1625. I used Zillow and Rent-A-Meter.
Hey, tell her I'll give her $10,000.
10K. And then also, well, I was thinking less, because also he's 5,500 in arrears.
Oh,
55, okay. 55, 58 in arrears. And then he has a water softener bill, like 6K.
Ooh.
Yeah, so I was thinking less.
At 250, there's only $10,000 of equity here.
Right.
So if there's all those expenses involved, and there's no foundation or roof issues.
No. The pictures look real good. It was just put up in 2020.
You said 6K in arrears and 6K for a water issue.
6K, well, yeah, 5,500 in the rears.
And you
And
said the
6K
house was
water.
just built a few years
Yeah,
ago?
2020. Yes, sir.
Ooh, nice.
It's a 3.2, 2,000 square foot, 5,800 square foot of land.
Is there an agent involved?
There is. I'm speaking to the agent. She's real cool though.
What'd you offer? What'd you offer her?
I didn't offer anything. I
Okay.
told her, hey, I just saw that it might fit our bill, and I will send an offer. Let me just do some underwriting on it.
Okay. Does she know how these
I was
transactions work?
Yes. Well, she said she's done one before, but she said she's been studying up on it since it does seem like it can help people. So that's why I kind of liked her. I was like, that's cool. Usually they're just trying to hang up on me.
I'll give her $3,000. I'll give the seller $3,000, and I'll pay all the arrears.
Her 3K seller. Okay.
3K to both the seller and the agent.
Mm-hmm.
Actually, no. I'll give the seller 4K and the agent 3.
4.3, paying all closing costs.
Yeah, of course.
Okay. Just making sure.
Yeah. And then I'll catch up the arrears. Tell them if they want it in writing, I can send it to them tonight or tomorrow.
Sweet.
But you got to either email me or submit the deal. Actually, email me and say urgent in the subject.
Okay. Yeah, that's why I wanted to ask on here, just because it has to happen pretty quick.
Yeah.
All right, Patrick. I appreciate you.
Tell her you want to. I mean, don't send that to me until you get a yes.
Yeah, no.
Okay.
I'm gonna get it all buttoned up.
Good on you for taking action, Sunika.
I'm trying. That's all I can do.
Out here doing deals, baby.
Dang, bro, go get it.
Love it.
Man, appreciate you guys.
Cool, man.
Noel, just start your crappy video so I can spotlight you. He's back for round 2. I know you.
No, what's up, dude? Turn on your video so we can spotlight you. I know it's not great video.
We know it sucks, but it's better than. All right, you can turn it off now if you want. You like get it to the little side that works, just put your face in there.
I feel like it's a hidden camera,
It's like just a little piece of it's working. So it's like
you see that?
We could see an eye, we could see a hand right now. Like there's a hand.
You're holding up 2 fingers.
How many fingers? How many fingers?
So, gentlemen, I wanted to ask you, how often, if any, have you run into prospects? You run the numbers on them, and they didn't come out to fruition. For example, let me give you an example. There's a property out there, traditional rent. You got a let's say $200 spread. Traditionally renting out the property, STR maybe up to $1,000, right? How often do you run across a property where it just doesn't pan out according to how you run the numbers? Because I'm looking at an STR, MTR through like an AirDNA as an estimate, Zillow or whatever as an estimate for traditional rent. So just curious, because I've run into a couple properties. They look great on paper, but they're just not. I know for a fact, because I've lived in Chicagoland all my life, that they're not going to pull those kind of numbers.
Yeah. So this is a very general question that you're asking. So for me, I'm targeting creative. I'm not. Occasionally, creative opportunities will come my way, right? Like they'll just, there'll be an opportunity that comes to me for whatever reason. But generally speaking, I'm actually going after specific properties for that reason, right? So now if it has $200, you're saying $200 net?
Yeah, let's call it 300 net.
I would buy that all day. Are you kidding? That's a deal to me. To me, that's a huge deal. because I want tax depreciation and I want appreciation.
Okay. If there's $100 spread, let's take it to $100.
Still a
and
deal.
an STR, I mean, where do you draw the line? STR 600 and $100 additional spread on the rent.
If it's in California and it breaks even, I'll take it. If it's out of state and it's cash flowing, any amount, I'll take it.
Okay. And how
I should say if it's in the Sun Belt area. If it's in Chicago, I'm probably not going to take it.
Okay. And what tools are you using as an estimate on how accurate do they tend to be? 95, 99%? What are we talking?
Your audio kind of cut out. Can you repeat the question?
Yes. What tools are you using to estimate
the rent
and STR correct? And how accurate are they?
I mean, nothing's 100%, right? But I always cross-reference 3 programs. I use Rentometer, Zillow, and Trulia. And I want to see that it's about $50 to $100 in terms of difference. And that to me is safe enough to comp the rent. I'm also looking specifically at the area that those places are renting. And if I can't find like a homogeneous rent across the board, it's not a safe investment, in my opinion.
Okay.
I don't ever look at, I mean, I look at awning and I look at AirDNA, but that's just like a cherry on top. That's just another exit strategy. The long-term rental strategy, if it doesn't either break even in my criteria or cash flow, then for me specifically, it's not safe.
Okay. I'm running into a issue where, folks are I'm sending out the property, giving deeds on the property, but a lot of folks that want a daisy chain off of the thing. And I'm looking
have a
for
contract?
that. Yeah, when I do have a contract.
Okay.
So to kind of avoid that, first of all, if you guys can put down your numbers, you guys buy in Texas, Florida?
Yes.
All over? Yes. Yeah, I have a couple things that I'm working on now. Can you guys put in your contact information in the chat so we can directly reach out to you?
You want to put the links in there, Patrick, one more time? Maybe I can find
Oh, no,
them.
I have the links. So I just posted on the links then?
Yeah, you would post to the opt-in.
Okay, I apologize. I stepped out for a while when you guys put up those links. I apologize. But okay, thank you, James. I appreciate it. All right, thank you, gentlemen, for your time. I appreciate it.
Yeah, no problem. Cool, guys.
We're pretty close to our wrap-up time.
Yes, we are.
Do we have any? You got something?
Yeah, I wanted to show everybody. So since we were talking about the notes, if you guys are out door knocking, here is, ooh, can we see this?
You're gonna have to unblur your background to be able to see that.
Oh, unblur my background.
Either that or have it as as something we can screen share.
Oh, okay. Dang it, that'll try to take me. Yeah. All right.
You have to clear your background if you want the camera to be able to focus on it. Yeah, go into video settings and choose the virtual background and unchoose the virtual background.
Oh, okay. Gotcha. I guess I could just do this later and I'll show you. Let's see.
Why, are we going to be horrified with what's behind you right now?
Oh, no, not at all. By any means.
Okay.
So just to piggyback or just to button up what Noel was asking, he was talking about daisy chaining. Noel, if you're still here, what I would recommend doing is vetting your buyers as well, asking them if they've ever purchased property and to show them what the address is and then ask them for entity docs if they have it. Because I'd be more than happy to share that with somebody who's, trying to vet me. If they don't have that type of information, then they're probably just wasting your time. Proof of funds that can be used as well, getting on a Zoom with them, asking them to show that they're liquid for it. Because if somebody wanted me to jump on a Zoom and open my bank account and they had a deal, I'd be more than happy to do that.
Show me the HUDs.
Yeah. Show me the HUDs.
When I send, they ask for the deeds on the property. Typically how they approach it is, hey, I'll be a buyer on it. And if I'm not a buyer on it, I can find someone that's going to buy it. Or my partner will buy it, right? So there's not a whole lot I can do in terms of, and proof of funds are, not too difficult to get. So, you know what I'm saying? So.
Yeah, tell them that you're only dealing with buyers and then have them say, look, I want you to open your bank account and show me that you've got the cash.
Okay.
And if I
Okay.
mean, tell them that. Look, I would have no problem with somebody if somebody asked me that, I would do it.
Yeah. Okay. Good
And
to
I
know.
would
Thank
show
you.
them that I've got a record too. Like I have a track record. Look, you know, I'm good for it.
Yeah. Good advice. Thank you, Patrick.
Yeah. All right, James, did you want to share something with these guys?
Oh, I was trying to figure out how I could turn off my
Go click this the video button down at the bottom.
yeah,
You should be able to activate it and then choose virtual background.
Okay.
And then just deselect the virtual background that you got right now. Because it's going to be fighting with your camera. There you go.
While he's
So
doing that,
now you should be able to do it, James. But hold it in front of your face so the camera focuses on that. All right, right. Yeah, there you go.
there it is.
So this is what James is doing.
That's just what I would leave. Hey neighbor, give me a call, James, with my phone number.
That's it. Simple.
Perfect.
Keon's got a question before we go. Let's get him up on stage. Keon, do you want to put your there we go. There we go. Let's see. How come I can't spotlight him?
Who are you trying to spotlight?
Oh, here we go. What's up, bro?
Yeah. So I have one more question. So if I was able to generate a list of foreclosure homes that's going to auction within about a week, and I was able to get in contact with the homeowner, would I still present to them, still come to them as I have options? Has anybody presented options to you about saving your home, you know, along those lines? Would I still approach them like that?
You could, but
Yeah,
a week is
if
not a lot of time.
Yeah, if they're from auction, you know, it means that they're ready to go over the cliff, that they've been in denial for a long time. So don't be surprised if you don't connect with them, but it's still about capturing their attention through empathy and rapport.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, I would recommend doing it in a 3 week, like 3 weeks beforehand, because the first week they're going to go tell you to kick rocks. The second week, you might actually get a conversation out of them. And then the third week, they're going to remember you and there's going to be no other option but to work with you. If you go with them the last week, they're just going to they're either probably working with somebody or they're not interested and they're just going to let it go.
Okay. So basically get more of a 3-week list and then call them every week if I don't basically get something going the first call.
Call, text, yeah.
All right, cool. All right.
Cool, man.
That's all for tonight.
Thanks, man.
It's tonight where you are, Keon, but it's still afternoon here.
Oh yeah,
the
I
left
forgot.
coast.
Big NYC over here, guys.
And I'm from New York City myself, so
yeah.
But I'm not doing winter anymore. I'm done with winter.
I'm out of here soon. You guys gotta help me out, man. Come on.
I'm done. So done with winter. Thank you, sir. Appreciate you.
All right.
Okay. Well, I think we've had a good session and we have an opportunity here to finish on time. Any last words, Mr. Curley?
I just appreciate you guys joining. You guys here and everybody in here, thank you guys for bringing your energy and your questions. Don't be afraid to ask those questions, guys, because when you do, everybody benefits from them. Everybody has the same fear. Oh, I don't want to look stupid. Guys, I had zero clue what I was doing when I first started. So come in here ready, come in here with questions and focused and ready to take action.
And a lot of people have those same questions.
Patrick's all right. This wouldn't be any fun without you guys here.
All right, guys. Thank you so much.
Good.
We will see you. We'll let you know tomorrow if we're going to be canceling Wednesday. It's looking like the challenge will start Wednesday. So if that is the case, we will not have our meeting and we will resume next Monday.
Okay, everybody. We'll see
you guys
in
for
the
your help.
challenge with Pace or next Monday, or you know, if Pace moves the ball, which he does tend to do every now and then. We'll see you Wednesday.
Thank you, guys.
Take care, everybody.
Okay,
Thank you.
take care. Have a good night.
Bye.
Bye.
Thanks.